Captain's log. Stardate 2015. Spoiler warnings are abound in the galaxy for a place, no, a show called Dark Matter. I have never seen this before, and if you have not either, I suggest you turn off this video, or you could just mute it to enjoy the art that is brought to you for your eyes. This has been your spoiler warning. Captain's log, signing out.
Drawing things for complete strangers, but my parents will probably watch this, so I guess they're not our strangers completely. Bad art.
Yellow, and welcome to another episode of Bad Art, where I draw things and talk things. And this week, I want to talk about a little show called Dark Matter. So, Dark Matter is this show on Sci-Fi about it's about these people on this ship. There's 6 of them, and they're all like badass mercenaries or just like criminals and stuff, and they're mercenaries and everything. And they're all on the ship together, and none of them have any memory of who they were. So like they wake up from stasis on the ship, and they don't have any memory of who they are and or what they did and stuff. So the show is just about them trying to figure out like how they lost their memories and like who they were before, and dealing with like the fallout from the different factions or people that they've wronged around the galaxy. It's very interesting. It's a really good show. I enjoyed it. It's actually one of my favorite shows this year, new and just overall. Like, it's up there with iZombie this year for shows. I guess the best way to describe the tone of it is it kind of be like a mixture of Cowboy Bebop and X-Men. Cowboy Bebop in the sense that it all takes place on this ship where it's these crew of people, and they have to like work together, and they all have these checkered pasts and stuff, and they have to like coexist on the ship and run missions and everything, you know. And that's how Cowboy Bebop is for the most part, and them going on adventures. And then it reminds me of X-Men because some people have like, well, I guess it's just one person who has a special ability, but there's like a love triangle between the 3 members of the crew. So that kind of like reminded me of X-Men, and some characters kind of act like people from X-Men. For example, one, oh yeah, and by the way, since they don't remember who they are, like they can't remember their names, they name themselves based off of the order that they are woken up from stasis. So like there's 6 of them, so their names are like 1 through 6. So let's just start with 1. 1 I hate as a character. I don't have any problem with the actor, but I hate the character 1 because he reminds me of Cyclops from X-Men, aka Scott Summers. Because he's just a little do-gooder, you know. He always wants to like do the right thing and stuff. Like, he's one of the people on the crew where he has like empathy for everyone, so he's always like trying to fight for justice and all that crap, even though he supposedly has this checkered past as a mercenary or a criminal. And I say supposedly because the one's backstory so far that we know is that he's impersonating someone else. Like, his wife was killed by one of his crew members, and he got like his face reconstructed to look like somebody else, to look like I guess a well-known criminal or mercenary. And he snuck aboard the ship, which is called the Raza. He sneaks aboard the ship to kill one of the crew members before he lost his memory. So like, out of all the people on that ship, he's like the biggest imposter out of everyone. And, you know, and then he's all, I don't know what he wants. Like, you know, he's trying to, like, before he lost his memory, he's trying to avenge his wife, or the death of his wife. But then, like, after he loses his memory, you know, post memory loss, now he's after 2, like he wants to like have a committed relationship with 2, but then he'll go on the planet and make out with some random chick on a colony somewhere, and then like he sleeps around with like service bots and stuff. So it's like he's really all over the place, and I just don't like his character right now. 2 was awesome because like she's the leader of the crew, and she's pretty much a badass. She just runs around leading the crew, you know, giving out orders, and she can fight her ass off too. And her backstory is that she's a genetically modified human. Like she has like little nano machine. She was like constructed from the ground up, like, because I guess she's supposed to be used for some kind of experiment for some old guy that's dying. Like they don't really go that much into that storyline, but she's a genetically modified human. Like they constructed her and everything. It like made her like the perfect person. Like she's good at fighting, she's smart, she's you know, she's got leadership skills, she's good with weapons and all that. And then she's got like these nano machines all over her body that can protect her. Like there was a episode where she got jettisoned into space and she came back and didn't die because the nano machines made like a little layer of a protective suit for her to live through that ordeal. So that was cool. 3 was awesome. Like he was hilarious. He's like the Logan of the group, as I like to say, because he's like a real gruff dude. He's like a weapons expert. He's always jumping headfirst into battles and wanting to shoot people and stuff and get into fights. And like I said earlier, 3, 1, and 2 are like in a love triangle where like she likes both of them, but like sometimes she gravitates more towards 1 and sometimes she gravitates more towards 3. I hope in the future she ends up with 3, just because like he's one of those guys where it's like there aren't really that many secrets with him. Like he kind of just lays it all out. He doesn't keep a secret unless it like benefits him in some way. Like when he found out that 1 was an imposter, you know, stuff like that. But I like 3. He's awesome. 4 is my favorite of the crew because he's got like that Raphael personality where it's like, you know, he's a loner. Like he hangs around with the crew, but he can go off on his own and do his own thing if he wants. His backstory also reminds me of Vegeta, where he's like from this family where he's like an heir to the throne, so he's like a prince. So it kind of reminds me of Vegeta, so that's why I like him. And he was the only one smart enough to like actually teach 5, who we'll get to in a bit, how to like defend herself. Like he's teaching her how to use guns and how to like do hand-to-hand combat and everything. So he was the only one smart to do that, because everybody else likes to coddle 5 just because she's a little kid and like, oh, you know, you stay on the ship because we don't want you to get hurt, you know. And then she gets all pissed off because everybody treats her like a kid. So I like that 4 was actually smart enough to be like, let me teach you how to defend yourself, so when you are guarding the ship and people get past us, you can take care of yourself instead of just running into the vents for safety and stuff like everybody keeps telling you to do. So that's what I liked about 4. Oh yeah, and 3's backstory was his. Well, we'll get into that later because he didn't really have his backstory wasn't fleshed out that much. 5, I liked a little bit. Like she got a little bit annoying because she was always complaining about how she's not a part of the crew and how everybody treats her like a kid. And it's like, dude, just do your thing, okay? You're a hacker. Just sit back and wait for them to like need you for something. You know, it's like you can't fight, you can't shoot a gun. So it's like, yeah, they're gonna like kind of keep you in the background so you don't get hurt, you know. And then you're always talking about shimmying around in vents and everything and stuff. So kind of just figure out like how to defend yourself first with 4, and then like try and get into the fray with things. And if people still trying to like keep you out of it, then you can get pissed off. But yeah, she was okay. She was an okay character. I look forward to seeing what they do with her character, and you'll understand why in a little bit. 6. So in the last episode, there was like a traitor on the ship, and it ended up being 6. And I didn't see it coming, but it did make sense when it happened, because on second viewing, because I've been going through the series again, watching it because I like it that much, but I also want to see like if they give hints to how he could betray the crew. And they do actually give hints, like, you know, there's certain things that happen, like when they put the chip inside the android's neck, like he's kind of like looking at it like he's gonna like process that information for later, you know. And then his whole backstory with the rebels, where they like tricked him into killing some innocent people, and then he like literally just flips a switch and turns around and murders everyone and tries to murder himself. It's like he does have those tendencies to be a traitor. Another thing I noticed too, in the first episode, he's the last one to wake up, and when he wakes up, he's like really, really like he doesn't look confused. He looks like scared, like in the sense that maybe they know he's a traitor. You know what I'm saying? Because like, and they keep on they were asking him stuff like questions, like they were like, "You remember who you are, do you?" And he was like, no, you know, like he was kind of like going reaction. He was reactionary with like all their questions, you know. So I kind of feel like he was the one member of the crew who probably didn't lose his memories, you know, like in a sense, because the whole big mystery on the ship is that somebody on that ship deliberately wiped their memories and they implanted them into 5. So my theory with 6 is that he was some kind of spy that got put on that ship to take out all those crew members, and he runs into 5 and notices that she's a stowaway. So I think his whole plan was to just wipe the crew's memories, put it inside number 5 to like get him from her later, and then, you know, kind of like kill him when he got the chance, or turn him over to the Galactic Federation or whatever, you know, because they end up getting captured at the very end of the episode. But I think that 6 was like some kind of spy that was sent to take out that crew, because the people on that ship are like well-known, most wanted criminals. So that's my whole theory with that. So yeah, that too with the different factions, because they kept running in different factions. There's like different corporations who like ran certain parts of the galaxy. That was a little confusing for me. Like I know it's like 3 of them, but I couldn't remember like their names. Like the only one I can remember is the Galactic Federation, because I think that's like the police force out in like the whole entire universe. So I'm still trying to like figure out how that all works. As far as like everyone's backstories, like we mainly just got 2's backstory and 4 and a little bit of 6's backstory. We still got to get 1, 5, and 3, because 3's backstory was that, you know, he was a mercenary still, but he ended up like doing that thing where he meets a woman and falls in love, and, you know, he's trying to like save her life because she's infected with some kind of illness or something. And I guess that was why he was on the Raza, to like run a job to get some money for her. But either way, like you didn't get that much from his story. And the chick that he ended up like trying to save ended up dying because he brought her with him on the ship, and she ended up dying because like there was like an episode where there was a power outage around the ship and her stasis pod had shut off, so it wasn't keeping her alive anymore, and the illness that she had like took over and killed her. So pretty tragic for him, which is why another reason why I want him to end up with 2. What else? That's about it as far as, well, there's an android too. The android, for the love of God, they need to find some kind of like self-defense mechanism for her, because how many times did they shock her to knock her out? Like, and she kept falling for the same trick every time, where people just walk up to her with their hands behind their back and she's like, "Oh, hello, how you doing?" And then it's like, "Oh, nothing," just shock her. And I was like, good Lord, like how many times are you gonna do this crap, you know? But either way, I still like the android. I thought she was hilarious. The best episode with her was when they had that one where Ruby Rose had guest starred as a service bot, and like the crew started liking her more because she was like doing like cooking and cleaning and everything and stuff like that. And the android got all jealous, so she like started talking in a different accent and everything to kind of like amuse people. I thought that was hilarious. But anyway, what else? The show got renewed for another season, so I'm very happy about that. I look forward to the next season. Like I said, the season ended with the crew getting captured and taken by the Galactic Federation, and 6 walking behind them, like joining, like, but not arrested. So like I said, I think he's some kind of like sleeper agent that was helping the Galactic Federation to take them down. It could go either way with him. Like, I think 5 is gonna kind of like set his priorities straight, because even though he was a spy on that ship, I still think that, like, as he was hanging out with the crew and getting to know them and like kind of getting his memories back or something, if he did lose his memories, I think he started finding a more of a camaraderie with them. So he might end up like saving them in the end, but I think it's going to take 5 to kind of jog his memory back, because with her having everybody's memories in her brain, you know, I believe the Galactic Federation is gonna like kind of torture her, maybe even like threaten to cut her head open to get the memories out, you know, and that's when Six is gonna step up and save her and end up saving the rest of the crew. Or the crew could just kill him and the android could become the new number 6, because she's been like building up her role in the crew as well, you know, since she's linked to the ship and all. So, but who knows what's going to happen. That's just my theories for what could happen on the show. Let's get to the art. The art is basically, where is it? There it is. So yeah, just basically the whole crew of the Raza. Got the android 1, 2, 3, 5, 4, and 6, all just doing their thing. 3 is all about his big old weapon. I think that gun he has is he calls it Bubba, because he names his guns. I think that one's Bubba. He loved that gun. He was always running around with it, so had to put that on him. You know, got my boy 4, you know, getting ready to unsheath that sword to do some damage. Even though I'm not really impressed with what I did with his face. It doesn't really look like him, but you know, maybe next time. You know, I got 1 and 3 kind of looking at each other because they had that rivalry over 2. I'm pretty sure that's going to stretch over into the next season. You know, 5 just kind of sitting there doing her thing, posing. 6 is hoping that 3 doesn't blow his head off. And they got the android just standing there ready to do whatever she needs to do. So, pretty much it. It was a lot of work. The hardest thing about this picture was the fact that in the show, like, everybody just wears black. And if it's not black, it's like some type of gray or gunmetal gray or something with their outfits and their guns and stuff. So that was really a pain in the ass to try and figure out how to color them without it all just looking like one big black mess. Like, it was worse than that Batman picture I did with like Robin and everybody in it, you know. But I got it done. Another Chewcasso in the books. So, yeah. But anyway, that's about it for me. If you have not seen Dark Matter, I am sorry that I spoiled it for you. But hopefully what I told you has gotten you interested enough to check out the show, because it is a really good show. Yeah, man. So, you all take it easy. And I'll see you on the next one. That was bad, but it could have been worse. And I'm out.